I'm really happy to have with me the master of the master, my boy, my brother, my hermano, Gavin Vincent. How are you, brother?
I'm good, bro.
Yeah.
Yes, Mr. Dester.
Yeah, man.
We're here.
How you been? You good?
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
We're in Holland.
Yeah.
Making it
So
happen.
thank you very much for being here with me, man.
Yeah.
I'm really happy to have a chat with you about many things. So first of all, I want people to know about you, your career,
Me, yeah.
and everything you wanna.
Okay. Where do I start then?
Let's start with
Introduction.
introduction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So, yeah, as Lester said, mi hermano. My name's Gavin Vincent. I'm from the UK, born in London. My background in the arts is as a breaker. I'm a b-boy. My b-boy name is Little Hawk, also known as Diz, and I represent the Soul Mavericks crew from London. And I have been dancing since, when did I start to dance? 2002.
Wow.
2001-2 was when I started breaking.
Nice.
You know, we're 2023 now. And yeah, that's like I've built my career and working as a performer, but also as an active participant in the breaking scene in the UK and internationally, and just that's my background.
All
really.
around.
Yeah.
Sick, man. Sick. So I got some questions I want to make to you, but also because I don't know and I want to know a little bit more about this. So we know that the way we start breaking and learning and developing whatever we wanted to do in those days, it's not the same as now, right? Now it's a lot different. It's a lot more people teaching. It's a lot of people with more knowledge. There's a lot of people with higher level. It's a lot easier to learn certain moves if you want to just open your computer and so go straight into it. What do you think about that transformation, that evolution of the breaking scene? Because even before, it was a lot more about being in the hip hop life as well. Not just you breaking, everything, how you manage your life in the hip hop world. But now it's more it's very focusing what you're doing breaking. Before we were more into we need to have knowledge of the hip hop scene as well, as much as we know the breaking.
Yeah.
But these days, in my point of view, it's not necessarily like that at the moment. It's more like you can be a great b-boy without even knowing much.
Yeah, it's true.
But what do you think in this?
I think knowledge is power for sure. So being able to access the latest footage or what has happened in the scene in the last 24 hours is amazing, because it means that you can see everything, you can absorb everything, but I think it takes away a little bit of the element of discovery, of finding it for yourself, like going out there and meeting people. And like you said, you can become really dope at breaking without really being part of the culture. And I think because of the disconnect, where it makes it so easy to not have to go to an event.
Yes, exactly.
You don't have to go. You can just be at home, watch your footage, learn, go to training in the gym, go to the studio, go back, watch your footage. And I'm sure that, I don't know, but I'm sure there's a lot of dancers that come up in this way now, and they haven't met people on the floor in the space, gone to the after party, hung out outside, spoken to the OGs, there's a lot of things that just sort of happen when you're at a jam or when you're at an event that helps you understand the culture and why it's happening. And almost the competition itself, like the battle, is when you're there, when you're in it, it feels like the most important thing. But when you think back after the jam, you remember all the other things.
All the other things
that happened.
Yeah.
Like all the interactions, or all the people you spoke to, or the little adventure you went on, or these little things or the journey, getting the plane there, or getting
the people that you met.
That stuff stays after, and in the middle of it, the battle is the most important thing. So it's I guess when it's so easy to access battle footage, or it kind of makes it that stays as the most important thing. Like who won, who lost, rather than who was it fresh, was it dope, or
exactly,
or whatever it was. So I think there's an element of that might have been lost, but I think it's not gone, because accessibility means a lot of people have access. So then, in the other hand, a lot of people that would never have gone to a jam now go.
Yes,
because they saw
they see. Yeah, they see.
So it's plus and minus. You know?
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
It
might be also. I mean, I'm not going to say that's the reason, but it's also helping this technology way to get into breaking, to make breaking now being in the Olympics and stuff like that.
Yeah, this is the thing,
because a lot of people like came from nowhere, you know, and started learning breaking in so many different ways. But at the end of the day, trying to get into it, that now is going into the Olympics. Like, what about the Olympics? What do you think about that? Do you got any expectations for that, or you just like?
I think like so. My journey with the Olympics is, you know, I did the judges training.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm like a Trivium WDSF judge, and I didn't necessarily do it so that I can get a job or judge an event. It was more just to be involved, to understand, and to get an understanding of how this new way of presenting our cultural dance, you know, a folk dance essentially is what breaking is the folk dance of hip hop in this more sporting arena. And I think like the thing people might need to remember is that even at a battle, even at a raw jam, if you have a battle and you have a winner and a loser, it's competition.
Yeah, it's competition. Sport. Yeah,
sport.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's still sport, regardless of if there's a stage and medals or if it's just on the floor and like the prize is like a t-shirt. It's still sport.
Yeah, it's still
at the end of the day. So it's not like this is a new thing. It's just presented in a slightly different way. And the other thing I think to remember is that the Olympics represents amateur athletics, not professional. Like, so everyone there can go.
Yeah, it's a good point though.
Anyone can go.
Yeah.
Anyone can enter. Like, you just go sign up and enter. The same as you would at a
jam.
In
a battle, in a jam.
It's not restricted. And I think, unfortunately, because the way in which I guess the Olympics is seen very shiny and clean and like presented in a way where it is professional sport, it makes it seem like we're taking away the culture and sanitizing what breaking is. And I guess to a certain extent that will happen because there has to be some rules.
It has to be
make it uniform-ish. And you know the way in which the judging had to be carefully broken down and how we judge has to be consistent in order to make it legitimate in that sporting framework. Adds a bit of sanitation. It adds a bit of cleaning.
Nice.
It's a good thing, and I don't think it's a bad thing as long as the other elements of breaking still exist.
Still exists, yeah.
Yeah, you can have both. Yeah. I don't think you have to have one or the other.
Okay.
Like, just because the Olympics exists and breaking is in it doesn't mean that everything else stops.
It has to.
It can just carry on.
Yes,
you know?
yes,
I think
yes.
again, if we see it as an opportunity for exposure, for more reach, for people to appreciate the art form, and be like, oh, these individuals that are doing this dance are not only are they highly skilled, they've got a strong culture behind it, and they are now off the back of it able to become professional athletes. You know, to get sponsorship, to get endorsements, to get
it's already happening.
To get a job.
Yeah. You open another door already, and that was the other questions I wanted to make. And that is so I have this message from Seba from Bristol Breakers. Shout out, my man. Did you think that you have to have a degree of dance to be able to dance in these kind of like theatre-based shows like the one we are right now?
So I think this is a good question because it really comes down to how the people that are hiring the dancers, the people that are making the work, the people that are watching the work, how they view what it is to be a dancer, to be a performer. Their appreciation for what you do determines the value of your training, in a way.
Yes.
I think, you know, I have a degree. My degree is in physiotherapy, but I may not ever become a physiotherapist again. I think what the degree does, it just demonstrates that you have the capacity to learn. Whatever it may be. You can have a degree in sociology and biology and geography or whatever it could be, and arts or anything it could be, but it just shows you have the capacity to learn. And that, I think, is a useful tool. Whether or not I think the formal training is important, is a question up for debate. I think if the shows and the people creating the shows still only value a certain way of moving
okay,
as being important or being good, and that way of moving is in line with traditional training from like a ballet line or whatever line, then it's always going to be important.
Yeah.
If the value becomes more even, it won't be so important. You know, so like the people hiring, if they watch you, oh, you haven't got good technique. It's something that we will face all the time.
Yeah.
You haven't got technique. Oh, you haven't got the training.
Yeah.
I'm like, I have good training. I have great technique.
He does.
It's just a different technique.
It really does.
It's a different technique.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But then you're told you don't have technique.
Yeah, for them.
For them, I don't have
see.
that technique.
Yes.
I have this technique.
Yes.
It doesn't mean I don't have technique. And it's just, what do you value?
Yeah.
If you are telling me that like formal dance training in one particular way is more valuable than informal dance training in another particular way, I don't understand why.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just that it's been written down in an order.
Yes.
That's all it is. It's formulaic. I think the thing to identify there is that formal dance training produces individuals who are trained to not be individual.
Yeah, to
look the same.
Yes, to make a group.
And that's very useful. If you have a lot of people and you want them to all look the same,
yeah.
And if they've all got the same training, then you can make a lot of people look the same.
Yeah, look the same. If you want something to be exactly the same, exactly every day, exactly the same.
So it's useful.
Yeah.
It's very useful. And it's the same as, you know, let's say you're a car mechanic or you're a plumber or you're an electrician. If I hire an electrician and I say, can you fix this plug? There's an expectation that you've all had the same training.
Yeah.
So you can all fix a plug.
You should be able to.
Yeah. And so, but that's only useful if I need plugs fixed.
Yeah. Yes.
If I hire an electrician, but I need the plumbing, his training is useless.
Yeah.
I need a plumber.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's where I'm like, I always kind of think of it like this. Yeah. Like our training in breaking, it may not have been formal and it may not be in that technique. It's just in this technique. And we've created the formal aspect of in it by how hard we practice, how much we dedicate time to the craft, to learning, to studying. You know, like I've been breaking 21, 22 years. Yeah. And you know, I feel like the first 10 to 12 of those years was learning. Just pure. And I'm still learning now.
Yeah, of course.
But I think like those first 10 to 12 years was just learning breaking.
Just to absorb as much as you can breaking. Yeah.
And in the next 10 years, I'm still breaking and learning, but I'm learning other things as well.
Yeah.
Picking up as much of the other types of technique as I can get. So, I think because that's like me saying.
But these questions actually now the question is opening all the thing in my head like, is this if I do the same question to a dancer who didn't have a degree, but is a I don't know, hip hop dancer, choreography dancer, you know, it doesn't have a degree, it might have a different answer. But talking into a b-boy who doesn't have a degree in dance, like choreography dancer or commercial dancers or whatever, we've seen stuff already different. Like what you're seeing in someone dance, for us could be like, for me, like when someone is dancing, what I see is like, wow, the feeling, the flavor, the meaning of why he's moving.
Yeah.
That's why I appreciate it. And for me, that's why this is a good dancer. But maybe for other people, because he repeats the same thing every time, exactly the same, that's a good dancer.
Yeah, it's interesting one that.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's not that one or the other is better. It just depends on you. Like you said before, what you're looking for.
Yeah, it just depends. And that's why I always go back to, it kind of comes down to the wider industry.
Yes. Yeah.
What is the wider industry looking for? Or what does the wider industry appreciate? What does the audience appreciate? If we can, and that I think goes right back. You know, it goes right back to back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, we have to go back to understand why something is appreciated more or less.
Yeah.
And there will be huge cultural, geographical, political things.
Yeah, that make it happen.
Yes.
Like,
why is it that the tickets to the Royal Ballet cost this? But why is it that the tickets to, I don't know, like breaking convention cost that? Maybe we have to understand where the value in the culture lies.
Yeah.
And that is country to country, and also historical.
Yes,
It's a historical connotation, and so I think that like if we can, I don't know, if we can get to a place where we appreciate the ability of people to move in a uniform fashion, whatever that fashion is.
Yeah.
Then that's an amazing skill. And then we also appreciate the ability for someone to do something completely different in a very individual way.
Yes.
That's another skill we can appreciate. I think individuality and being able to flip something and do it in your own way is just as valuable as being able to hit a choreography perfectly and be exactly the same as someone else. Yeah. Or, to be so sharp or on point, because, the thing that we see when we see someone be sharp and on point and clean is a demonstration of the ability to learn and repeat and reproduce.
Yeah.
So as an audience member, when I watch 5 or 10 dancers and they're all perfect, exactly the same, I'm like, wow, they really train.
This is crazy. Yeah.
What am I appreciating? Yeah. I'm appreciating the training.
Yes, the training.
The practice.
How difficult is it?
How many times they did it.
Yeah. I'm
thinking, even if it's subconsciously, yes. My brain is like, they did that a lot.
Yeah, 100%.
I recognize they did that a lot.
Yeah.
So one of the things we appreciate deep down.
Yes.
And when you watch someone who's completely individual, completely different, then it's a different feeling.
Yeah.
Now you're appreciating, wow, they have looked at it from a place I never thought to look.
Yeah.
They're moving in a way completely not what I expected. Yeah. Or now I'm appreciating the artistic journey of the individual to create something that had not been created before. Yes. If I see something and I'm like, I've seen that before, I appreciate it just a little bit less than something I'm seeing for the first time.
Yeah, because it's being already done. Or you can compare with other things.
You can compare. Now I'm like, I remember. But when you see someone completely individual, you're like, I've never seen that before.
It's already done.
It's already like, wow, I've never seen that before. Or even an interpretation, like maybe there's a choreography and everyone's doing it, but everyone's doing it a little bit different. And you're able to see, you all learned the same thing, but you've all found your own way.
Your own way to approach.
And I think it's inspirational. Yeah. It gives people watching, or maybe there's another generation of dancers watching, they're like, oh, well, I'm different. I'm different from this person and that person, but I can still exist.
And doing the same
space. Yeah. So there's value. There's always going to be value in both. So especially as breakers, we see that.
We see that a lot. Very different. But so at the end of the day, having a degree, it might help you. I mean, it's not going to be a bad thing, and it's always a good thing. But that also doesn't mean
I think
that's what you need.
Don't let it define you.
Yes, that's a good point.
Yeah, it's a tool.
It's a tool.
It's a tool.
Yes.
It's a tool. The same as the electrician and their training.
Exactly. I love the example, man. It's so clear.
It's a tool.
It's a tool. It's nothing else more than that.
Yeah. And then you choose to use it.
Yeah, you learn how to use it as well.
Yeah. I think choosing to use it can be a thing, because I think a lot of the time the dancers out there can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
They feel obliged to use their technique in a certain way. Yeah. But surely there can be a space where you can choose to use that technique, or you can choose not to use it. Yeah. Just because otherwise everything you're going to do is going to look the same. Maybe it's always going to have the same technique. Us as breakers, we're definitely the same in that. Everything I do, no matter if it's a contemporary or a stand-up style or popping or locking or hip hop or house or whatever, I'm always kind of going to look like a breaker.
Yeah, of course. It's going to find already you
and I guess that comes from how many years. Yeah. But it would be nice to be a place where I can choose to use that or choose not to
do it.
I mean, it's a part of it. It's built in now. It's hard.
That's what we're doing now.
My shoulders are always like this.
That's the big thing. Oh yeah, because we were talking about looking up when we dance.
Look up.
But look up like this way. But so many reasons why our looking up is this.
It's the same.
I'm looking up. You know what I mean? But this is for what we normally do when we dance.
Looking at the floor, looking up.
We're already thinking where we're going to go.
Yeah.
These things. So it makes
it definitely affects. I mean,
the first one is how do you find the transformation from being just a b-boy ready to battle, or prepare yourself in the battle scene and the breaking scene in general, and that transitions to be more into a dance industry, or going to theater shows, any other style came into you?
So that's a good question. And I guess the transition happened in 2 stages. So I guess after about 4 years of breaking, that was when the person that was teaching me, B-Boy Mouse, was like my teacher, kind of like mentor when I started breaking, and he asked me to join Soul Mavericks, and I've been breaking about 4 or 5 years, and in that moment, I decided that I was going to commit, my time to breaking. Because I was studying at university, and I had I'd finished university, I had a job as a physiotherapist, and it was kind of this time when I was like, oh, I'm going to focus on dance. And then what that meant was, okay, putting all my time to dance.
Nice.
How do I put all my time to dance and still live?
Yeah.
That was the question. Yeah,
that's always the question.
So, yeah, in that moment, I remember being like, well, I'm going to do full-time breaking, battling, competing in, and being in the scene, and the culture is my priority, but I need to eat. So, at that time, I signed up with like little agencies and things, but just as a pure b-boy, like, everything I went for did I need a breaker? Yes. Yeah. Okay, I'll try. But if it was something else, I didn't even go.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about it. It was like, I didn't even think about being another. Me and the crew, like Mavericks, we had done a lot more. I guess like we'd explored more areas. We pushed quite hard at battling, and like by 2012, we had got to like the highest level we could get to at that time. It took a long time, it took 6 years to get from being, beaten in the first round of every international jam to getting to the final of the world champs. Going up against Jinjo, going up against the high level crews, doing IB and stuff. And we got to a place where it's like, hey, let's try doing some other things.
Yeah, cool.
And it was more circumstantial. It was more the fact that we had been together a lot, and we were making a lot of material, routines and stuff. And a few of us in the crew were interested in like dance theatre and hip hop theatre.
Yeah, okay.
And one of our crewmates, Angry Abdul, suggested that we approach a breaking convention.
Nice.
It was a hip hop festival. It's in a theatre, and he was like, "Let's make a show." And a lot of us were like, "Nah, we don't. What is this? Making like this hip hop theatre thing? Like, nah. We just want to do jams and battle. Mm-hmm. If we're gonna do a show, it's gonna be just Battle of the Year."
Yes.
Because that's like the only thing we had done.
Yeah.
And he was like, "No, we should do it. We should do it. It'll be really good." And we're like, "Okay, cool. Let's do this thing." And it was from that we learned a lot about how to create work, how to create theatre.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. And it was like, but still at that point, I was only seeing it through the eyes of a breaker.
Okay.
It was we're gonna do theatre, we're gonna create a piece of work, but as a breaking.
Yeah, basic.
Only in breaking. I still hadn't really opened up to anything else. Yeah. I didn't know anything else.
Yeah, of course.
But it did open the door. Like things like breaking convention open the door. You start to see things from another perspective. Mm. You start to meet people who, they are working in this way.
Yes.
It allows your brain to like change a little bit towards, it's possible to work this way. We don't have to,
Yeah, because a lot of people in breaking convention also use different techniques or different styles, elements of different styles in their pieces in a different way. So it also helps to see like, oh, cool. The contemporary way into the breaking is also working.
It was new, and that was really the change. That point.
That's it. Okay.
That was really the changing point when started to open up the space a bit more.
In the people you see on the crew and breaking, you prepare yourself for the battle, but you actually not prepare yourself to be seen for like thousands of people.
Yeah.
So even if you're ready for the battle, just that feeling of seeing it, all these people looking at you and expectation, as you said. It might be. Like, if it was me, I'd be nervous as hell, man.
Going on the stage,
I'd be already like, yo.
Battle of the Year stage is huge.
Yeah,
it's big, and the first, especially when it was in Germany, and like you go to that big arena, and like everyone's kind of warming up a bit, and you think, well, tonight this is going to be full, and we're going to do a show. Yeah. We're going to not mess it up.
And then the battles, and then that's a lot of pressure.
At that time, it's you're ready for the battle. You're not quite so ready for the crowd.
Yeah, for the crowd. Yeah. That's how the point that we normally forget. So all these questions we already have, and that's why I was looking for answers for these things, because like it's so difficult sometimes to read, to understand. But now just for the ending of this, what is the next thing for you, or what you're gonna find in this industry, or what's your plans after being a people, then to battle, then to being a crew, then to prepare, then now to dance, get into theatre, change this, change that, learn this forever. Where are we going now?
I guess like for me, generally being creative and pushing a form of practice forward is kind of like, it's just something that I've always done. Like if whatever I'm starting to do, I like to just get into the practice.
Nice.
If it's a martial art or if it's a physical practice or like a mental practice, whatever it is that. So now I've expanded. I'm always looking outward more so, and that has definitely been in the last 10 years. Like I said, the first 10 years breaking was my life.
Yeah, that's all I know.
I used to say, like, if I had studied as much as I practiced breaking, I would have got like a first in my degree. I would have got like the highest.
Keep going with, yeah.
But I didn't. I practiced breaking more, and the last 10 years, because I've expanded my horizon and I'm looking at so many different avenues within dance, it opened up looking at different avenues in theatre. It opened up looking at acting. It opened up physical theatre. It opened up stunt work and wire work, and all of that came from a place of the things that I just find fun. Like I go climbing, I go mountain biking, I do martial arts. These things fed into the things I found interesting. And then how can I use that in this space, in the theatrical space, in the performative space? Yeah. So I started looking at things like rigging and wire work and the technical elements of what we do. Like we're on stage every day as a physical person, but there's so much going on that makes it happen.
Yes.
Like the set, the design, the lighting, the music, the floor, the space, the theatre itself. All of that is kind of like the space I'm beginning to be more interested in. Yeah, like the whole picture. And I think if I'm in a position of where I'm creating the work, not just at a movement level, but at a what is the work? Why is the work happening? Then the importance of all the different artists and their journey can be, I guess, like equally valued. Like I will value a prima ballerina the same as I'm going to value a crumper.
Yeah, of course.
I'm going to value the lighting technician exactly the same as the dance captain. I'm going to, you know what I mean? Like everyone has their own value.
Yeah, their own value for
and everyone will have like a validity.
Yes.
Like I'm valid. Where did you practice? Where did you train? At home. Yeah. Oh, where did you train? At university. Oh, the same reaction.
Yes.
Rather than where did you practice? Where did you train? I trained at university. Wow. Where did you train? I trained at home. Oh.
Wow.
You know? Yeah. So instead of the two reactions being different,
familiar on this thing.
Yeah, if the reaction is the same,
yes,
then the value is the same.
Yeah.
Then when we go up and up and up, when it comes to we're going to be making this show at production level, everyone carries the same value. Yeah. And I think we are starting to get there. Definitely, our existence. In this show. Is a beginning phase of there's some value to what we do as breakers.
Yes.
And I want to be able to be in a place where whatever your dance style is or whatever your thing is, that it has the opportunity to be valued the same as the things that have already got value.
Yeah, they already have a value.
They already have value. Yeah. That's not want to go there. And like I said, it goes down. So that's and that's a bit of a random way to answer the question.
No, that's perfect. No, because
it's like
I mean,
it's what inspires me to look at the wider aspect.
Actually, the examples, and it's great because the way you saying these things is just nothing to do with what we already know. Yeah. Like we all thinking about dance now. We do this, we do that, blah blah blah. We all know the same thing, but this is more deeper into why and where we're going and where we might end.
Where
after these things. So that's amazing, man.
Bro.
Yeah, thank you. Hope, I hope this helped anybody to understand where we at the moment, what he's been through, and all of these situations of dance, being an artist, and where he's going right now. I think people need to listen a little bit more of this information, not what we normally get into internet and see like what dance means or whatever. What's actually happening. But yeah, that's it. Well, thank you very much, brother.
My G.
I think it was amazing, and let's keep it going.